Okay, members, you're very welcome to the monthly Environment and Regeneration Committee, the first after recess. So you're all very welcome back for those who I haven't seen. I am stepping in for the chair, Councillor Norris, today. As many of you may know, Councillor Norris suffered a bereavement over the weekend. His young nephew passed away at the young age of 17 and was buried today, I believe. So on behalf of this committee, I just want to pass on our condolences to Councillor Norris and his family. I am sure it is an unbelievably heartbreaking time that he is going through, and I know from hearing from his colleagues who were there today, the heartbreak that they are feeling. So our thoughts and prayers are with them, and we'll keep them in our thoughts in the days and weeks and months ahead as they try to get through a very challenging time. Councillor Duffy.
Just to echo your condolences there on behalf of Sinn Féin, just our thoughts and prayers are with Connor's family, his parents, James and Shuneen. What? So it's just to pass on our condolences as well to Declan and the wider family circle. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Duffy. Councillor Riley.
Yeah, thanks, Chair, for bringing us in for this sad item, and just on behalf of the SDLP, obviously, just to be associated with your warm words of condolence to Decky and his wider family circle, dealing with the loss of Connor at this time, a very young age. To lose his life through cancer, and we're thinking of all of them at this moment in time. So thanks, Chair, for bringing me in.
Thank you, Councillor Riley, and finally, Councillor Milton. Alderman Milton, apologies.
Thank you, Chair, for letting me in. I just wanted to join by offering our sincere condolences on behalf of the DUP to Councillor Norris and all of his family, and indeed Connor's friend circle as well. It's devastating news, and we'll be keeping them all in our prayers. Thank you.
Thank you, Alderman Milton. I will now pass over to Karen for the notice and summons and meetings and the members' attendance and apologies. Thanks, Karen.
Thank you, Chair, and through you, Chair, to all members of Environment and Regeneration Committee. You're hereby summoned to attend the monthly meeting of Environment and Regeneration Committee, which is a hybrid meeting conducted remotely via WebEx and physically in the Council Chamber, Giltawderry, on Wednesday the 10th of September at 4 p.m. And I'll take the roll call. Alderman Derek Hussey has given apologies. Alderman Keith Kerrigan.
Apologies, he's travelling back from a meeting.
It's fine. Thank you. Alderman Julie Middleton.
Here, Karen, online.
Thank you. Councillor Paul Boggs is here. Councillor John Boyle.
He's running late, but he should join us shortly.
Councillor Caitlin Deany.
She's just running late. She's on her way.
Okay. Councillor Gary Donnelly. Councillor Alex Duffy.
Sure.
Councillor Rory Farrell. Councillor Sean Fleming.
Michelle.
Councillor Emma McGinley.
Sure.
Councillor Pat Murphy. Councillor Declan Norris has obviously given apologies, and Councillor Martin Riley.
Here, Karen.
Thank you, Chair.
Karen, any declarations of members' interests? Either now or throughout the meeting? No? Happy enough. Thank you. Okay then, members, item number 5 is chairperson's business, and the only member to contact me. Oh, sorry, broadcasting statement. I would like to remind everyone physically present at this meeting or in attendance remotely that this meeting will be broadcast live to the internet and will be capable for repeated viewing. This broadcast may be terminated or suspended in accordance with our protocol. Due to your attendance at this meeting, you are consenting to be informed and to the use and storage of those images for broadcasting or training purposes and for the purpose of keeping historical records and making those records available to the public. Members and approved speakers are reminded to only have their mics and cameras on while speaking at the meeting and to use the chat facility to highlight a request to speak. A copy of the Council privacy notice may be found on the Council website. Thank you. Chairperson's business now then, and the only member to indicate for chairperson's business was Alderman Middleton. So work away there now, Julie.
Thank you, Chair, for letting me in, and also thank you to Colin for your time earlier today speaking through this issue. Local DUP members, myself included, have received increased communication from constituents regarding St Colum's Park. can I ask for information today to be shared just regarding the following 3 points? So the first point is, what is the current status of the derelict Adventure Play Park, inclusive of plans and potentially expected timeframes? Secondly, there have been many concerns raised about recent antisocial behaviour within St Collins Park, with some equipment being damaged, albeit since then repaired. What, if any, measures are in place to mitigate this? And thirdly, given that the existing play park is extensively used every day, what plans are in place, if any, for upgrade? Thank you.
Through you, Chair, members, I'll come in on this, and then I'll bring Colin in then towards the end. I think in terms of the Adventure Play Park members, as you will recall, we actually had done some work in order to scope a project to replace that particular facility. That was undertaken. It is a project that's within our capital plan, but it's not yet being prioritised for funding. So it's not funded. So therefore, I can't give any update in terms of when that will actually happen. Officers intend to consider how we might get additional funding for that as soon as we can. And again, we'll bring you an update paper in relation to that as soon as we can. In terms of the antisocial behaviour, members, this is an issue that has been prevalent in St Collins Park on and off over many years. And I do know that the parks wardens work with other stakeholders such as PSNI and St Collins Park House, etc., to try and deal with that. I'll ask Colin to add to that once I've finished. In terms of the, I suppose, the younger children's play park members, we are aware that, you know, we've been doing repairs to that on and off over the last number of years. We know that with all our play parks, we want to try and make sure that the equipment is of the highest standard and that it's renewed when we can. However, members, in terms of that, we don't currently have plans for a full replacement of the park. Members are aware that we have recently engaged with all members from each of the DEAs to look at their priorities in terms of the capital funding that we have available at the minute, the community funding through the capital plan, and for the Waterside DEA members prioritised Ross Downey and Currynear, so those are the play parks that we are taking forward in the short term. But again, obviously we keep under review all of our other play facilities in the DEAs with a view to trying to get more funding and indeed more replacements for parks where we can. Colin, is there anything you want to add to that?
Yeah, through you, Chair, in respect to the larger play area, there are plans done, but they haven't been socialised as yet. And the reason being, so what we're trying to do is we're trying to scan the horizon for funding opportunities. What I would say, it's a significant amount of money when it was costed. In terms of the smaller play area, we have noticed in the last few years, okay, with the ROSPA reports coming in, that there's a degree of wear and tear, but also a degree of rot setting into some of the timbers. What we're doing, we're making good on an annual basis, but it is likely within the next number of years that there will be more decay in certain timbers, and it may get to the stage where that may need to be reviewed and monitored in terms of its replacement of all of it or some parts of the equipment. So we'll keep members appraised of that as we go forward.
Thank you.
From an antisocial behaviour, I mean, the incident that happened was there was a bit of damage to a play equipment over in the park. In terms of antisocial behaviour, we generally get antisocial behaviour in our parks over the winter months, and it's really, sorry, over the summer months, and it's basically coincides with good weather conditions. St Collins Park, I think it's fair to say, over recent years, okay, is some of the antisocial behaviour has reduced, generally speaking, but sometimes there can be spikes. But our park rangers are very active in terms of, and they have a presence in the Newgate Lodge in terms of working with the young people. But in addition to this, they also have the backup of the community wardens, and if needs be, and only on a needs be basis, the PSNI.
Okay, content, Alderman Middleton?
Yes, Chair. No, thank you very much, Karen and Colin, for your responses. I just really wanted to bring this forward today because there are many people with some concerns regarding the park and just really wanting to know what the plans are. So, like, that's a healthy update for now, and sure we'll see what comes in the future. Thank you.
Thank you. And Councillor Riley?
Thanks, Chair, for bringing me in, and thanks to Alderman Middleton for raising the issue. I agree with all that she said, and I thank the officers for coming back on the points thus far. I suppose, it's, Chair, in relation to the reason I wanted to join the conversation on this item is that over the summer, all Waterside councillors got an email from a constituent around dogs being in the park but not being on their leads, and the difficulties that causes for younger children who may be playing in the park, and the concerns that has for parents. I know officers were to liaise with the constituent on that item, but is there any update that they can give elected members in relation to steps that are being taken to enforce the already existing signage that's in the parks around letting dogs loose in the arena, in the park? Thank you.
Chair, members, I haven't got an update on that today. I do know that it certainly was brought to the attention of the dog wardens, and they had assured us that they would be following up on it. So I don't have a further update today.
Okay, thank you, Karen. Moving on then, members, to item number 6, and it is the matters arising from the open minutes of the Environment and Regeneration Committee held on Wednesday, 9th of July. For matters arising? None? Perfect. Moving on then again, item number 7 is the public consultation on the draft climate action plan 23 to 27, and that is for Karen to take, please.
Thank you, Chair. And members, the purpose of this report is to present to members the draft consultation response on Northern Ireland's draft climate action plan. Members, you'll be aware that Northern Ireland passed its first climate legislation in 2022. The Act requires the Executive to prepare and publish a climate action plan every 5 years. And members, the Department for Agricultural, Environment and Rural Affairs has coordinated the publication of the draft climate action plan with each of the Northern Ireland departments, identifying policies and proposals to reduce climate in emissions in line with the carbon budget that has been set. Members, the consultation is open at the minute, closes on the 8th of October, and members, we have attached a response that has been prepared by Council's climate manager on behalf of Council, after having coordinated with all of the various departments of Council. So members, clearly we're happy to take any further comments that any elected member may have in relation to the consultation response, but the recommendation today is to approve the draft response so that we can provide any further comments to us by the 1st of October so that we can send that off by the deadline. And I'm happy to take any comments or questions that members have. Thanks.
Thank you, Karen. Councillor McGinley.
Gormega, Chair, and Gormega Karen for the report and the response. It is a really detailed and well thought out response from Council in relation to this consultation. However, there's one, to me, it's a glaring omission, is that climate change doesn't stop at the border. So in terms of Chapter 9 in the Governance for Delivery, it's on around page 50 in the pack there. There's not any reference to cross-border bodies being part of the plan for governance. So I think it's something maybe we should include, that cross-border element and all-island element is essentially what's going to help us to deliver on climate targets. So I think it's really important that it's included within our consultation response. But I'm happy to propose with that amendment. Thank you.
Through you, Chair, members, more than happy to cover that. As members are aware, we do very significant work with our colleagues in Donegal, and one of the aspects of the work that we've carried out over the last 10 years does relate to climate, and we produced the Northwest Climate Action Plan. So certainly more than happy to cover that within the governance section.
Thank you, Karen. Thanks, Councillor McGinley. Councillor Riley.
Yeah, Chair, thanks for bringing me in. Just happy to second the proposal from Councillor McGinley, including the suggested amendment that she's put forward. So I'm content with that approach. Thanks.
That's great, thank you. No further comments. Moving on then to item number 8 is the DFC DFI DERA Shaping Sustainable Places Regeneration Initiative public consultation, and that is Tony.
Thank you, Chair. Members, you're advised that DFC DFI DERA have initiated a public consultation on the proposed Shaping Sustainable Places regeneration programme. Consultation process opened at the end of June and it closes on September the 21st. The consultation document sets out the context in which the 3 central government departments are working collaboratively to develop a new approach to regeneration funding that targets villages, towns and cities across Northern Ireland. The document goes on to state that the programme aims to create a flagship of interventions to arrest the decline in the valued village, town and city centres through more strategic interventions led by communities. The departments are hoping to stimulate places and catalyse private sector investment to further protect these locations. And Shaping Sustainable Places lays foundation for this new approach by the 3 departments. The programme represents a key regeneration initiative by the 3 departments that will take a long-term approach to regeneration and revitalisation to local high streets located in the respective centres. The programme proposes to commit £50 million of funding from the 3 sponsoring central government departments, which brings that total budget up to £150 million over the 10-year lifespan. In addition to this investment by central government, there's an additional 10% contribution required across the 11 councils, bringing the total budget sum to £165 million. At this stage, there's no details available in terms of how that £150 million of central government funding will be allocated and what the respective 10% co-financing requirements will be for each of the local authorities. The programme itself is a capital scheme which focuses on key capital projects aimed at improving the village, town and city centre environments, and which may include interventions such as tackling dereliction and vacancy, enhancing public realm, improving physical connectivity and improving safety and security in these locations as well. And members, you'll see from page 116.3.3, the 4 key objectives of the programme in terms of improving places, prioritising safety, health and well-being, shaping places to become more resilient, particularly in light of climate change, and they work collaboratively across the departments and also with local authorities also. The consultation document outlines that the programme will be delivered by councils working in conjunction with statutory and other local stakeholders. And details of the scheme, you'll note, members, were attached with the copy of the draft response. In terms of implications, clearly city, town and village centres across the district will be eligible for funding from the proposed programme, and therefore there are potential benefits for the council's rural area in particular. Members, in terms of financial implications, it's important just to point out that you're asked to note that as part of that overall proposed funding package of £150 million, there is that 10% match for funding requirement that I mentioned earlier over the 10-year period. And again, whilst we haven't got any firm details on what that's likely to be, and just based on some estimated calculations, it could be in the region of a commitment from this council of £1.4 million over the 10-year period, roughly equating to an annual sum of £140,000. These figures are provided, as I say, purely as an estimate at this stage to understand what those implications are likely to be. So, members, I think there will be the need to consider how this match funding requirement is raised in order to maximise that overall funding available from central government, and the officer team will continue to liaise with DFC as the lead department in order to establish the timelines of the programme and in which financial years that match funding will be required as well. So, members, on the basis of the above, we're asking you to note the contents of the report and to review the attached draft consultation response which was attached and advise of any further comments that you would like to be added. You're asked also to note that there is a deadline of the 21st of September, and unfortunately it will not be possible for this to come before full council September for ratification. So really we're looking for your authority that we propose to submit in advance of the day of the 21st with any comments that you might well have. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Tony. Councillor Farrell.
Thank you, Chair, and thanks, Tony, for the report. On behalf of the SDLP, I'm happy to propose the recommendation. I think any money that's coming from Stormont to tackle dereliction and dilapidation across our city centres, town centres, village centres should be welcomed. I think that this plan complements the existing plan for neighbourhoods. It complements the recently announced Northwest Regeneration Fund. So it's good news. In terms of the £165 million pot, I think we could spend it all locally, but any money that's coming from Stormont should be welcomed. Just in terms, has there been any engagement with any of the departments, or has this just been a consultation document that's been issued? Because I would have a question about how that money is allocated. Is it like some sort of bid process, or is there an allocation per council based on population, deprivation, rurality? So good news. The devil's going to be in the detail, but it's good to see that money coming down locally. Thank you.
Yep, through you, Chair. Members, yes, the departments did actually engage with councils. Tony and I met the relevant director from DFC in terms of actually shaping the programme, and those were some of the issues that we raised. Our understanding is that it will be a hybrid in terms of some money will be directly allocated per council area, and then what they are intending to do at this stage is then to have some element of competitive tendering as well. Now, again, as we've said and as members have noted, the devil will be in the detail, and we will need to understand how that's going to actually happen, etc., what the criteria for any bid, any bids would be, etc. We're certainly not worried about being able to compete competitively, but we will need the assurance that the criteria is satisfactory, etc. So again, at this stage, it's the high-level consultation. We've pointed out a number of those issues in our consultation response, and indeed we will then wait to see how it develops. We have also worked with the departments over the last few years, following on from the COVID recovery schemes, which basically, I suppose, was like a pilot for this type of joint initiative between the three departments. And that has been good learning in terms of enabling us to move forward. And some of the things that we feel is, in terms of light touch, how they actually give us the money, how they, allocate it, how they monitor it, and all of that sort of stuff. So I think that, it's great news. It's good to see. But again, there will be some more further iterations as we move forward. Is there anything more you want to pick up on?
Thank you, Karen. Content, Councillor Farr? Yep. Councillor Fleming?
Thank you, Chair, and thank you for the report. I'd like to state our party's support for the draft consultation response. We welcome the step of cross-departmental working between DFC, DFI and DERA, as well as the multi-year budget approach. This allows councils to better plans for projects that require the investment. Regeneration and revitalisation of our city, town and village centres is a priority as it assists in building the local economy for those areas. That all being said, we do have a bit of concern in regards to the 10% match funding that's required of council. It's a bit difficult to plan into council budgets when it's a little unclear at this point how that budget is going to be distributed across the 11 councils. So whenever officers are able to nail that down a bit more in detail, would certainly appreciate that. Thank you.
Through you, Chair, I'm happy to include that comment within the consultation response and make the departments aware of that. Thank you. Just wait.
Proposer and seconder? Proposed by Councillor Farrell, seconded by Councillor Fleming. Thank you, folks. Moving on then, item 9 is the transport strategy public consultation, and Karen's going to take that first.
Thank you, Chair. Members, the purpose of this report is to update members on the current public consultation process initiated by DFI in relation to the draft Transport Strategy 2035 and provide again a copy of Council's draft response for consideration and to seek the authority of the committee to submit the response by the due date of the 16th of September. Members, you are aware that DFI has initiated a public consultation on their proposed Transport Strategy 2035 and the Transport Strategy was attached to your pack. The draft strategy sets out the need for change and sets out information on travel and transport behaviours, trends and statistics, and it is put forward 4 key strategic priorities with a series of associated measures. And the strategic priorities are that transport is resilient and sustainable, supports connected and inclusive communities, is safe and healthy, and supports green growth. The consultation document sets out a series of questions based around these strategic priorities and the proposed measures contained. Council's draft response is attached for members as Appendix 2. And members will note from reviewing the transport strategy, the strategy prioritises measures to place an emphasis on climate resilience and promoting greater rural connectivity. So members, on the basis of this, members are asked to note the contents of the report and again to review the draft consultation response and advise of any further comments that they wish to be added. And again to note that the due deadline was the 16th of September, so therefore it's not possible to have the response ratified at September's full council meeting. So we seek authority to proceed. However, we can send any further comments that are made after the deadline if needed, members. So I'm happy to take any comments or questions that members have in relation to this consultation response.
Thank you, Karen. Councillor McGinley.
Gurmaigat, Chair, and Gurmaigat Kieran for the response. Again, a very detailed response in terms of the strategy and our consultation response date. I do think that the strategy and the transport strategy is a step in the right direction. As you know, Karen, we met with Minister Kimmins as part of the Northwest Regional Development Group last week, and she really does have a positive focus on this, and particularly in and around balancing that the regional balance for the Northwest. So we fully support the response the Council are proposing and going ahead to submit that to the Department because I think that the strategic priorities within the strategy are very closely aligned with a lot of Council's own priorities. So I'm happy to propose the response. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor McGinley. Councillor Farrell. Councillor Riley put his hand up there, and I don't know if he's fighting over who wants to speak.
I speak too.
I'm not precious about this at all, but thank you, Chair, and thank you, Karen, for the report. I'd like to just echo the remarks of Councillor McGinley. Really comprehensive response. We've had engagement with DFI, we've had engagement with TransLink through the Transport Working Group, or whatever it's called now. So we've got a strategy, we fully support it. Our concern is that whilst plans and strategies are great, it's all about delivery. And even in the consultation response, in the consultation document, it does reference that here in the north is the lowest per capita spend on transport across these regions. So we're way behind England, Scotland, Wales, the Republic, and we have been since 2015. So having a vision is great. Having the money behind it is what's actually going to make that work. But happy to second. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Councillor Farrell. Nobody else? Sorry, Councillor Riley.
No, thank you. And just to build on what Councillor Farrell and the proposer, Councillor McGinley, said, just on page 199 of the pack, in terms of our draft response, it touches on the fact that, you know, it says, I'm quoting it here, it says that routes such as the A2, A5 and A6 play a critical role in the economic development and growth of the Northwest City region. Absolutely agree wholeheartedly with all of that. I suppose what the paragraph that's in that box doesn't cite is that the completion of the A6, which is an executive flagship project, isn't referenced, that that is something that is not yet complete. So the upgrade of the A6 thus far is to be very much welcomed, but the conclusion of that flagship project has not happened, and that's creating a huge problem for people who live in Drumahoe and in the wider part of the northwest. So connecting the village of Drumahoe over to the call roundabout as what was intended with the initial flagship project is not yet done, and we know as the next item on the agenda today will indicate the reasons for some of those delays. But I think in this strategy, and particularly in that paragraph, we need to flag that that's an executive flagship project for this region that has not yet been delivered. Thanks.
Through you, Chair, members happy to strengthen that aspect of the consultation response to make it more clear. Thank you.
Thank you. And just, I suppose, for myself on the back of what Councillor Riley said, we will all know within our own council we have the cross-border working group in relation to the A5N2. So if there is an opportunity, maybe, I know this is particularly for the north, but when we're talking about regions and roads that are significant to a particular region, those roads and the working group that represent the progress in those roads, I think is important as well. So maybe we could consider including that as well. Thank you. Moving on then to the final open for decision is item 10. It's the Maboy consultation report, and that's Karen as well.
Thank you, Chair. Members, the purpose of this report is to seek members' endorsement of the independent review report with regard to the draft optimum remediation strategy for the Maboy illegal landfill site, which was completed by AECOM on Council's behalf. Members, you will recall Council approving the appointment of AECOM to undertake an expert independent review of the draft optimum remediation strategy published by DERA and NIEA in relation to the illegal landfill site at Maboy, and considering the consultation process which is currently being undertaken by the department. The draft strategy was developed in consideration of the land contamination risk management guidance, which sets out the processes that are needed to assess and manage the risk from contaminated land. The consultant team were appointed by Council to review the processes undertaken by the department, and members, we set the consultants a terms of reference which is outlined in section 2.3 of your report. Members, in terms of the key issues, the AECOM team have completed their review and the report is attached for your consideration. Members, it's a very, very detailed and lengthy report, and officers believe that they have done a very comprehensive review. A copy of the cover letter that we intend to send to the department, the draft letter, is also attached to your report today. Overall, the team at AECOM have concluded that the proposed remediation strategy has been developed in substantial compliance with the LCRM guidance, although there were several limitations noted. Some of these included aspects of the risk assessment, limited detail on the proposed design elements, and insufficient clarity on how the site's future use as a public open space will be safely accommodated. Members, officers have engaged with AECOM in relation to their concerns regarding the limited detail on some aspects, and they have advised that they would expect these areas to be strengthened as the strategy is further developed, which would ensure a robust response to the site's complex environmental needs. So members, in terms of the recommendation in front of you here today, members are asked to endorse the expert independent review report for submission to the department, and I'm happy to take any comments or any questions that members may have. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Karen. Councillor Duffy.
Thank you. Just quickly, the Council set out seven asks of the consultancy company, and they were pretty big asks, and they come back with a very detailed report. And they are the experts in the end of the day. And overall, they are saying it's compliant, and there is some small concerns noted within it. But I think some of them as well are just are unknowns at the moment, but they will become clear as the project moves on at Maboy. But we're happy to endorse both the report and the letter. Thank you.
Thank you, councillor Duffy. Councillor Riley.
Yeah, thanks, Chair, and happy to second the proposal and to thank officers for such a detailed presentation in the pack. And also, I suppose, just in terms of the public record as well, to thank the members of the public that have turned up at the various different public events that have happened in this council area over this past number of days, including one still ongoing today in the Millennium Forum. So happy to support the recommendation and to progress things. And finally, just I'm conscious Councillor Norris isn't able to be here today, but he certainly would have wanted us to raise this issue and to note the number of people that attended, particularly the event in Eglinton, recently, where this is of huge concern to everybody there. Thanks, Chair.
Thank you, councillor Riley. Alderman Middleton online.
Thank you, Chair, for letting me in. Just to concur with the previous speakers, on behalf of the DEP, we're happy to endorse both the report and the cover letter. Very thankful to the officers for the work that they have put in to this work, of this report. Like, it's been really good to see the engagement and the consultations, and we'll just wait to see now what happens. But certainly on behalf of the party, we're happy to endorse, and we'll just wait now and see what's to come. Thank you.
Thank you, Alderman Middleton. So proposed by councillor Duffy and seconded by councillor Riley. Okay, moving on to open for information. And if I just shout them and stop me if you want in. Item number 11, item 12, item 13.
Chair, if I could.
Sorry, councillor McGinley.
It's just to welcome this report from DFI. I think the developments at Meaning Square have been long awaited. Just passing on the way here, NIE are on site at the minute doing the preparatory work in terms of moving the substation, which again has been long awaited. So it's good to see that this is moving positively forward, and we look forward to seeing the full redevelopment of that site.
Cormagat, councillor McGinley. Item number 14, dilapidation bill. Sorry, councillor Riley.
All right, thanks, Chair. Just item 14, just to welcome the response to the dilapidation bill, and I suppose to note the importance of that to our council area in relation to often it's in the winter time where we have storms, and councillors are getting contacted about buildings that are posing a danger to neighbours and to people who are walking around the particular buildings. So I note that in the response there is the element that this would be done at council not having the cost for it, that we would be able to recover the cost of any works against the owners of the building. I think that's a fundamentally important point in relation to protecting the ratepayers but keeping people in our council area safe. Thanks.
Thank you, councillor Riley. Item number 15, and Alderman Middleton has indicated online.
Thanks, Chair, for letting me in, and thank you to the officers for the report. It's so important that we mention flooding at every single ENR meeting, irrespective of if anything is happening just currently. But I do want to highlight that I really welcome that we have this meeting set up now for the 10th of October for DFI to meet with residents from Ivy Mead and Eglinton. I think there's nothing better than local knowledge and actual local experience in helping you understand a problem, because no matter how much you look at a map or a drawing, it's actually hearing how things occurred that helps to open up your mind to how to fix things. So I think this is a positive step forward, and we're thankful for the work that's happened thus far. Thank you.
Thank you, Alderman Middleton and councillor Riley.
Thanks, Chair. Just in relation to the flooding, specifically in relation to the Drumahoe item, I'm conscious that earlier in the year we passed a motion inviting the Minister to visit that part of our council area, and indeed any other places that needed similar attention. And we did get a reply just before recess in the summer that she wasn't able to meet, but she was offering a meeting with officials. I did raise that at full council. I know there was a difficulty with the end of the meeting. I was online, but I'd reached out to council officers in relation to following up with the Minister's office about that meeting with officials. And is there any update that officers can give in relation to the organisation of that meeting with residents and the officials? Thanks.
Yeah, members, as you can note from section 3.2 of your report, that meeting between the DFI officials and residents has now been arranged for Friday, the 10th of October at 2 p.m. And we will send out more details in terms of the meeting, and indeed we will publish it on our social media, etc., so people can see it and be aware of it.
Thanks very much, Karen. Thanks, Chair.
Thanks, Karen. Thanks, Councillor Riley. Item number 16, Councillor Duffy.
I didn't want to come on the boy update stuff on the review, what was done there, but it's just to remind ourselves and the public that the public consultation is still ongoing, and it will run until the 2nd of October. And any member of the community, and we would highly recommend that people do get involved in this process at the moment, and it can be done online. Anybody who was at the councillor briefing not Monday past, the Monday before, will know that the amount of detail within the work that's already been done, and it's easy to get frustrated because we all want the Maboy issue to be dealt with and to be rectified and stuff, but and it's easy to look at it and think there's not a lot being done, but see, getting that briefing firsthand and seeing the amount of work and the strategies that goes into it, and even the engineering around it, and how there's different options of containment and removal and all that stuff. It's very, very detailed and very, very interesting, was for me anyway. So it's just to remind people to get involved in it, and as we speak, there is a consultation going on to 7 p.m. I was down just before I came here this evening, and it's been very well attended. Speaking to the people on the front desk there today, and it was busy when I was there as well. So well done to DAERA and the other agencies all involved in that, because it's a very, very big piece of work. Thank you.
Thanks, Councillor Duffy. Alderman Middleton, is that on 16 as well in the chat box?
Yes, thank you for letting me in, Chair. I just wanted to concur with Councillor Duffy's comments and to encourage any and all, irrespective of you're from the Fáhan or not. In fact, I'd say Fáhan and beyond, please respond to the public consultation. It is of the utmost importance on this issue. Thank you.
Thanks, Alderman Middleton. And Councillor Farrell.
Thanks, Chair. And just to agree with Councillor Duffy and Alderman Middleton, I attended the briefing on the Maboy remediation strategy as well recently. I was shocked at the scale of the issue out at Maboy. I hadn't obviously read about it in the paper, saw it on TV, but what was presented to us as members in the Whittaker suite shocked me. The level of environmental crime, the length of time it's going to take to fix this, and more importantly, the size of the team that are working on this, because it's multi-agency. You have these engineers and scientists and comms people, all these people that are working around the clock to try and fix this mess that nobody here created. So I am positive about this. The dedication, the professionalism that the team that are tasked with fixing this mess, it's encouraging. But some of the stuff we were told, I was like, just couldn't believe it. So the sooner it's cleared up, the better. But we have faith in the team that are leading on it. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Farrell. Finally, then, members, item number 17. I will just make a brief comment, just to thank officers for bringing the update and for the engagement with the local businesses. I think we have said before, both in the members briefing and in committee, that bringing those businesses along with us is one of the most important aspects of the project. And from the businesses that I've spoken to, they feel like they've been listened to and that we are going in the direction that suits them best. So I just want to thank Tony in particular and his team for the work that they have done on that engagement. So thank you very much. We are going into confidential then. So can I get a proposer and a seconder? Councillor McGinley and Councillor Farrell.